1. What is the primary purpose of the AzM2 test? A. To assess students' mathematical ability. B. To measure academic performance and readiness for college. C. To measure students' proficiency in English. D. To evaluate teacher effectiveness. 2. Which grade level is the AzM2 primarily designed for? A. 4th grade. B. 5th grade. C. 6th grade. D. 3rd grade. 3. How does the AzM2 test impact Arizona's education system? It helps determine school funding. B. It is used to assess individual student learning. C. It helps evaluate teacher performance. D. It is used for school accountability and federal reporting. 4. Which of the following is not assessed by the AzM2 test? A. Reading comprehension. B. Scientific literacy. C. Financial literacy. D. Mathematical skills. 5. How frequently is the AzM2 test administered? A. Once a year. B. Twice a year. C. Quarterly. D. Monthly. 6. What type of test items are commonly found on the AzM2 test? A. Multiple choice, short answer, and essays. B. True, false, and short answer. C. Fill in the blank and multiple choice. D. Matching and case studies. 7. What is the required passing score on the AzM2 test for students in Arizona? A. 75%. B. 80%. C. 70%. There is no specific passing score. It is used for performance measurement. 8. How does the AzM2 test contribute to a student's final grade? It has no impact on the student's grade. It can make up to 10% of the final grade. C. It directly affects the final grade. D. It is a graduation requirement. 9. In which of the following subjects does the AzM2 test not assess? A. English Language Arts. B. Mathematics. C. Science. D. Social Studies. 10. Which of the following is an example of a practice that teachers can use to help students prepare for the AzM2 test? A. Teaching test-taking strategies. E. Giving practice tests to students. C. Reviewing previous test results. D. All of the above. 11. What is the role of the Arizona Department of Education (ADE) in the AzM2 testing process? A. To administer the test. B. To develop and review the test content. C. To evaluate students' individual performance. D. To provide funding for the test. 12. What strategy can teachers employ to ensure compliance with the AzM2 test testing standards? A. Allow students to take breaks during the test. B. Monitor testing environments closely. C. Permit students to use calculators. D. Encourage students to guess answers. 13. How do the AzM2 test results influence Arizona's educational policy? A. By guiding decisions on curriculum development. E. By shaping teacher evaluations. C. By impacting state and local funding for schools. D. All of the above. 14. Which of the following best describes the format of the AzM2 test? A. Computer adaptive and untimed. B. Paper-based and timed. C. Digital with mixed question types. D. Paper-based with mostly multiple choice. 15. Which of the following is a significant advantage of computer adaptive testing like AzM2? A. Reduced student anxiety. B. Accurate measurement of individual performance. C. quick turnaround on test results. D. Greater flexibility in scheduling test dates. 16. What type of assessments does the AzM2 test complement in Arizona's education system? A. Formative assessments. B. Summative assessments. C. Diagnostic assessments. D. None of the above. 17. How can educators use AzM2 results to guide instruction? A. By tailoring lesson plans based on student performance. By reviewing test results and focusing on weak areas. C. By setting new goals for students based on the data. D. All of the above. 18. Which of the following is a common critique of standardized tests like AzM2? A. They fail to account for student diversity. B. They take too long to grade. C. They measure the wrong skills. They lack alignment with state standards. 19. What is the goal of using formative assessments in conjunction with the AzM2 test? A. To improve student learning outcomes during the school year. B. To prepare students for standardized testing. C. To provide immediate feedback to students. D. All of the above. 20. How does the AzM2 test impact teachers' professional development? A. It guides the development of teaching strategies. B. It helps teachers identify gaps in instruction. C. It informs teacher evaluations and training programs. D. All of the above. 21. What is a key element that teachers should focus on when preparing students for the AzM2 test? A. Memorization of test questions. B. Familiarity with the test format. C. Practicing without guidance. D. Relying solely on practice tests. 22. How does the AzM2 test address students' varied learning styles? A. By providing multiple question formats. B. By using visual aids and interactive content. C. By offering question-based accommodations. D. It does not cater to different learning styles. 23. What is the primary challenge for students when taking the AzM2 test? A. Time pressure and anxiety. B. Difficulty in understanding complex questions. C. Technical issues with the testing platform. D. Lack of resources and test preparation. 24. What is an essential component of the AzM2 test that supports its validity? A. Detailed rubrics for assessment. B. Standardization across all test takers. C. Clear instructions for students and administrators. D. Strict supervision of test environments. 25. How does the AzM2 test align with Arizona state standards for education? A. By assessing the same academic skills outlined in the state standards. B. By using customized questions based on each state's curriculum. C. By evaluating general knowledge rather than subject-specific skills. D. By focusing exclusively on standardized content. 26. Which of the following is an example of an accommodation that may be provided to students during the AzM2 test? A. Extended time. B. A separate testing room. C. A reader for the test. D. All of the above. 27. What is a major consideration when using AzM2 test data for evaluating school performance? A. The test measures only reading and mathematics. B. The test should be used in conjunction with other data sources. C. The test results determine school funding. D. The test assesses only the top-performing students. 28. How can the AzM2 test results inform curriculum development in Arizona schools? A. By identifying strengths and weaknesses in student learning. B. By influencing the selection of textbooks and materials. C. By determining changes to state standards. D. All of the above. 29. What aspect of student performance does the AzM2 test aim to evaluate most effectively? A. Reading comprehension and vocabulary acquisition. B. Problem solving and analytical thinking. C. Physical education skills. D. Social studies knowledge. 30. How can the results from the AzM2 test help administrators support teachers? A. By identifying areas where teachers need professional development. B. By offering feedback on the effectiveness of teaching methods. C. By assisting with class placement decisions. D. All of the above. 31. What does it mean when a student achieves a high score on the AzM2 test? A. The student excels in multiple academic areas. B. The student is on track for graduation. C. The student is proficient in the state's academic standards. D. The student can skip to the next grade level. 32. Which method can teachers use to interpret AzM2 test results for individual student growth? A. Comparing current test scores with previous results. E. Reviewing specific test items that were answered incorrectly. C. Analyzing patterns in performance over time. D. All of the above. 33. What is the main objective of using AzM2 data for accountability in Arizona schools? A. To assess school and district performance. B. To measure student proficiency and growth. C. To identify areas for improvement in instruction. D. All of the above.